Hey everyone, it's Yandia here, your dream manifestation specialist. Today I want to share with you 25 plus years of alternate reality knowledge in just 11 minutes. So when we talk about alternate realities, there are so many different perspectives you can have on the topic. For today, I want you to think about it as alternate states of existence. And there are 4 major states of existence that we are going to talk about today. The thing about it is this topic can get very, complicated depending on what angle you decide to talk about it from, quantum physics or spirituality, just regular science or whatever. But if you look at it from the perspective of the 4 states of existence, it's very easy to understand alternate realities. The first stage, what I call awake in reality, is the stage of someone who has transitioned from this life and they have moved on not to the next life, but the in-between, right? So the in-between is the place where you would be able to know everything you didn't know while you were in this life. In the in-between, you remember all of your past lives. In the in-between, you know who God is. In the in-between, you're aware of people who are further than you in the evolution of your soul. You're also able to understand exactly what this life is, or this thing that we call life is. Whether it's a holographic universe or a dream or, just some sort of imagination in the mind of God, it doesn't matter. At this place, when you're in the reality, is where you get to know what this is all about. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not trying to spoil it for you. So in this place, awake in reality, this is where you are literally like in your higher self, or you have an idea of clarity and oneness. Again, depending on what it is that you're here to do, depending on your soul's journey, depending on a lot of things, actually. A key marker of being awake in reality is the awareness of truth. That is the key thing about reality. When you are in actual reality, one thing is really clear, and that's the truth. Many people who have experienced the reality will talk about the feeling of knowing that love is the only thing that matters, understanding what life is, understanding life in all, understanding that all is well and that there really is nothing to be concerned about, because in reality, everything really is okay. So that is the first state of existence. The second state of existence is asleep in reality. So asleep in reality is basically when someone transitions to the other side, but instead of being awake, their soul actually remains asleep. And in the state of sleep, the soul can actually dream, or it can just be in a very, very deep sleep to where it has no dreams. And that sleep is what we call the deep sleep. So you have the first state, which is awake in reality, okay? And then you have asleep in reality. And so some people pass on to the other side, and actually they don't go into reality. They don't wake up. They actually just dream. And a lot of people who have near-death experiences, they go to the other side. But what happens is that they actually enter into another dream instead of waking up on the other side. And I'm not going to get into whose experience is a dream and whose experience is awake, but there are key markers to awake experiences on the other side and dream experiences on the other side. Now, the third state is asleep in the dream. Now, asleep in the dream, this is actually the dream world that we're in right now. Asleep in the dream means that you are operating in this realm, but you are asleep to the reality of the first state, okay? Unless something happens in your life that causes you to become aware of the first state, you basically remain in this realm asleep, totally unaware of the reality of it all. Now, funny enough, a lot of people who are asleep in this realm call themselves woke. When I say woke, I mean it's something like this, like people who would say they love one thing right? Like they see life in one thing and they will be an advocate for that one thing, but they're unable to see life in everything. Because in actual reality, anything that is living because of life. So if you're an advocate for life, you should be an advocate for life across the board, because life doesn't have a hierarchy. We create hierarchies, but life actually doesn't have a hierarchy. Life is life. If something is alive, it's life having it be alive. And if you take away its life, regardless of what it is, it's life that's being taken away. So when someone is actually awake, they understand that. Someone who is woke will only compartmentalize issues like love and life. So again, you have the first state, which is awake in reality. Then you have asleep in reality. Then you have asleep in the dream. So people who are asleep in the dream say that they are woke, usually. Okay. Then the fourth state is the state of awake in the dream. Awake in the dream is basically the state of existing in the dream realm, which I said many people would say this is the dream realm, and they wouldn't be wrong because it really is. Many people who are awake in the dream realm are aware that they are in a dream. They are awake in the dream and they are aware that the dream is subject to their mind. They are aware that there is a reality and they are in the reality. They're aware of themselves in the reality, but they are aware that they are in the dream. So they are not woke, but they are awake in the dream. Now, this is the most important thing. If you are here and you're listening to this, then you're obviously in the dream, and you could either be dreaming or you could be awake. Okay? So if you are awake in the dream, I want you to understand that you can go through different experiences as you're awake in the dream. Have you ever had a time when you needed to get up really early, or you just needed to get up but you were tired and you set your alarm? You set your alarm and then you woke up and you were so tired that you went back to sleep. And then you woke up again and maybe you did something, you shifted around on your bed. You could have even gotten up and gone to the washroom, but you came back and you fell asleep again. And this may happen, for a while until you actually finally wake up. This is usually the process of people who are awake in the dream. They have several encounters with waking up. So it could be that you'll hear them say like, oh, my first awakening was like back in 1995 when this and this happened to me. And then I experienced another awakening in 2020 when all this stuff happened and right? Or they'll say, and then I had a near-death experience, or then I had this, or then I had this, whatever. So things happen along the way. These are like other alarms going off. You press the snooze button and then again. So this is why people who are awake in the dream often sometimes don't realize that they have and can fall back asleep. And so it's very important that if you're hearing this, you really ask yourself, am I actually awake, or have I fallen back asleep in the dream? You'll know you're awake when your environment is subject to your mind consciously. You will know when you don't feel like life is happening to you, but like you are happening to life. There are several indicators to let you know where you are, whether you are awake in the dream, sleeping in the dream, awake in reality, or sleeping in reality. Well, if you're sleeping in reality, you wouldn't be hearing this at all. And if you're awake in reality, you're hearing this, but you're having your own fun, right? When you are awake in the dream, you realize that you are God in flesh, that you are God moving around in this body, and the world really is your playground. You are a co-creator, and you have full control over every decision you make, and every decision you make is deliberate because you are creating, and you're aware that you are creating the reality that you're in. A lot of people who are awake in the dream have experienced going to sleep, and in their sleep having dreams where they are learning how to do things, learning how to fly, learning how to teleport, learning how to communicate with animals, learning how to do all sorts of things, but they're in the dream learning to do it. These are the type of things that you can bring into the awake dream. You could even solve problems in your dreams. When you are awake and you go to sleep, you actually aren't sleeping at all. You're just continuing, but your body is resting. You go to sleep and you can continue to live. You're still solving problems. You're still learning to do things. You're traveling. You're experiencing this, experiencing that. You really aren't, necessarily sleeping because you are awake and you're aware of it. So when you do open your eyes, all you're going to do is execute the things that you've already learned in your dream. I hope this helps. If you would like more information on the 4 different stages of existence, if you would like to talk more about how this plays out in dimensions and all of this other type of stuff, please let me know. I would love to make another video for you, but let me know in the comments below. If you like this, please subscribe, share it, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. If you want more content, click on this video right here. And remember, it is my joy to help you manifest your dream life and highest self. Bye-bye.